Today I want to see if I can get this Banshee to idle properly, and I lost a lot of footage because I already took the carburetors out of here, went through them, did a quick clean, not a super deep clean, but a quick clean, and I adjusted the exhaust, so the exhaust is now on there. I'll show you in a little bit. It's just temporarily on there, and I found out where my tires are leaking. One of them I might be able to fix fairly easily, the other one I don't know. But today I just want to focus on trying to get this machine to idle. Let's get to it. This exhaust here is difficult to put on because this tube got bent. It got twisted, like that. So now this bolt runs diagonally like this, which makes it rather difficult. So this is just kind of temporarily sandwiched on there. I have some ideas. I don't know why the mounts on here don't seem to quite line up. Like if these pipes weren't made for a Banshee, I don't know. So on here, again, they don't quite line up with where the hole would have been. This is the tab that broke. So the pipe is slid a little bit farther back here in order for this hole to line up. I'm just curious if these pipes aren't right, or if somehow my frame got damaged enough, or if the front pipe needs to come further back. That's what's going on with the exhaust. The exhaust, it works. Now the fun part, the carburetors. So like I said, I've already taken these out of here and tried to clean them up, and I didn't fix the idle. It still won't idle. And these carburetors do not appear to be OEM carburetors on here. I just don't know a whole lot about this type of setup. Two-stroke carburetors. I dealt with some motorcycle carburetors like this a slide type carburetor, but that was one motorcycle, and it's been probably 15 years ago now. So all that to say, I've got this funky choke lever here, which is right behind the exhaust, so it's really hard to get to. You can see better on the other one. Here's my choke. It says to twist the choke to adjust the idle. So that's kind of interesting. And I tried doing that, and I could not get it adjusted enough to stay running. So I'm going to see, I'm wondering if that's my idle jet down there. I don't know what that jet is. So I might try taking that out or backing it out. And again, over here on the other side, I don't see any screws we can get to really. And of course, there's also the backup idea of just adjusting our throttle cables so that the slide is always up just slightly. So I watched some videos on how to adjust the carburetors on the Yamaha Banshee, and they are more for original carburetors, which have a little sight glass on the side where you can see when the slides start coming up, so you can synchronize the slides a little better. Here I can just pop these off the back and try to go that way so that both slides come up at the same time. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm gonna see how many turns it takes to put that screw in, count them, and then try backing it out and see if it's dirty. So half turn, one full turn, about a little over 1 3/4. So it's about 7/8. Okay. Yeah, I think we're on the right track here. So let's clean this off and spray some carb cleaner in that hole. Probably in. That's a 7/8 to where we were before. So that looked pretty clean. I'm gonna pop off the air filters and see if I can get to the other carburetor, and also check the slides and see if they're synchronized. I want to make sure my boots are tight up front, because if I'm letting air in, that would make it a little bit lean. Okay, so that jet I pulled out comes right into that larger opening there. And let's check the throttle slides. They're very close. I think I'm getting the left one first. So I need to try to tighten up this side here. So now my right one seems like it might be wiggling first. I think they're very close. So I'm just gonna leave that well enough alone, because in my ignorance, I don't know if I can make it any better. And that looks like it's been tampered with. So I think I'm gonna try to see if I can get my screwdriver on this jet there. Oh yeah, that should work. Okay, so we're diagonal. Half turn, full turn. That's in all the way. I'm gonna back it out like the other one had. So I feel like on the stock carbs they're supposed to be out like 2 1.5 turns maybe. I can't remember. These are not stock carbs. So I got them both out about 1 7/8. I think I'm gonna try to get them both all the way out to 2.5 and see if that works from there. Now I'm going to reset this idle and try to screw it back in. This is a choke here, so that I'm starting from scratch if I adjust anything else. Now I kind of need to fire it up and let it warm up and see if I can get it to idle. How many kicks do you think it'll take? It's been probably a couple of weeks. Still no idle. As soon as I take my thumb off the throttle, it dies. Let's take the choke off. Yeah, it dies as soon as I let off the throttle. Whew, some fresh air. So what do you guys think? I know there's a lot of people out there that know a lot more than I do about this. Did I just richen up the mixture? Is that why it's smoking so bad? Do I need to put that back in a little bit? I feel like that's a little too much smoke. I think I'm gonna have to open the slide up a little bit. So I think we are gonna have to adjust the throttle cable onto the top of the carburetors. And I'll probably need to put both of those screws back about where they were at about 1 7/8. So is there some way to adjust it, maybe up to the thumb side, to always put a little tension on the cable to keep the sides open a little bit, the throttle open a little bit? Or do you just have to do that down at the other end? I think I'm gonna find out here in just a little bit. Okay, I got those carburetors back to where I think they were before. So let's fire it up and see if that gets rid of some of the smoke. Still smoky. I don't think it's quite as smoky, and it still doesn't idle. Let's look at the throttle up here. I'm curious how this works. So this is a throttle stop here. What's this thing here? Is that a safety switch? I wonder if that's why it won't idle, if it's actually literally turning off. I think I'm fighting a losing battle. I think that's an ignition kill somehow. I think I'm gonna see if I can pull this little module out of here and see if that affects how this thing runs. Let's fire it up again and see if it'll idle. Bummer, so doesn't idle. Okay, that had nothing to do with it. We were barking up the wrong tree there. I think I'm gonna see if I can get the slides to stay up slightly higher and approach that as methods of idling. These cables look a little bit messed up down there. I didn't really want to do that, but alright, so Try to get this rubber boot slid out of the way. Essentially, the cable should stay down in there. We should be able to back the slides up just a bit using these lock nuts. We'll do the same thing over here. Okay, it looks like both of them are engaging at the same time still. Let's try this and see if that works. Almost there. I think we need just a little more. Alright, we adjusted it out. Let's try it again. I think we went just a little too far. So I'll adjust it back down just a little bit and see if that works. I like it. That might still be just a tad too fast, but I'm gonna leave it there, make sure everything's tightened up, and put the air filters back on and see how she goes. Rats. That's okay. We'll get it. Alright, so I took the air filters off and it still wouldn't idle, so I thought maybe there were two issues. Maybe one of them is the electrical thing up in the thumb throttle, so I put the air filters back on and I took that electrical thing back out. Now let's see if it starts. And stays idling. Yeah, that's a little better. It's a combination of things. I think I do need to back it up a little bit for the air filters being on there, but I think what's going on with the thumb throttle is affecting it, the electrical. Alright, so I think this time it's gonna work. So I backed the slides up just a little bit more, put the air filters on there, and the thumb throttle electrical thing is still out, so let's see if it idles. Oh yeah, it's idling. What does this thing do? That's a kill switch. How does that thing work? I don't think it's working right. That is weird. So we definitely had two things going on here, which is why it wouldn't run. Yeah. Alright, so we got it idling now. It'll stay running, but there's several things going on and I have no idea if I did things correctly or not. Because what I ended up doing was adjusting it so that my throttle slides are up just slightly. I adjusted the throttle cables at the top of the carburetors. So essentially it's always on the throttle just a hair to keep it running. And it's idling just a bit fast, but I don't think it's too big of a problem. I'm more concerned about the fact that I found this weird electrical switch that shuts it off when the thumb throttle is released all the way. And I don't know why that's there or how that works exactly. I haven't looked into it really. So I'll have a little research to do there. But because I didn't discover that at first, those screws I was working with in the first place, maybe those were the correct way to adjust the idle. I don't know. But I didn't realize the other problem that was happening at the same time until after that. So it's possible I should have just left those screws backed out a little bit and that would have solved the idling problem in addition to taking the switch out. So I don't know exactly what's going on. You guys probably know a lot more about this, but that's okay. I'm learning and I'm having fun doing it. And well, let's go take it for a ride. Whoops. While I was setting the camera up, the Banshee rolled away. I should have put the parking brake on. Hope I didn't damage anything. Thankfully it was going very slow. That was a really silly mistake to make. All right, well that's enough of that. So we have gotten the Banshee somewhat idling again and potentially damaged it again, and it's been fun doing it. So anyway, tune in next time for the next story on Garage Story. As always, keep making stories and stay safe. I know, I should wear a helmet.